The truth is the truth.
I've got someone called John here.
Who's playing hide and seek at Souter Lighthouse?
Hello and welcome to Most Haunted. In Tyne and Wear, right by the sea, is a lighthouse that's been here since 1871. It's steeped in history and apparently has a resident ghost. Now, some of the people that work here have heard, seen or felt strange things. Some of the people here say it could be the ghost of the old lighthouse keeper that died here. Who knows? Most Haunted want to get to the bottom of the phenomena of Souter Lighthouse.
It was the first electric lighthouse in the world. Standing over 75 feet high, it was constructed by Robert Allison to protect ships from the rocks and cliffs of the mainland. It was near here that the famous Grace Darling rescued the survivors of the Forfarshire in 1838. Her niece, Isabella Darling, resided at Souter from 1881. It was an interesting place to work and live, and maybe that's why people say some of the past residents refused to leave.
Now, if there are such things as ghosts, proof that they exist would be absolutely amazing. Now, we're going to be spending the night here, 24 hours to be exact, and that could be enough time to try and catch any paranormal activity on camera. Now, to help me do that, we've got our usual crew. We've got Carl there, and we've got Martin at the back. Give us a wave. And in here, we've got the rest of our crew. They're setting up. We'll see them a bit later on. And, of course, we've got the help of our usual experts. Jason, you've got lots of boxes here. What's this thing?
This is an electromagnetic field meter. It's a little bit more advanced than the one that we've used before. It doesn't make a noise.
I like this one because it makes that noise.
That's the one that makes a noise. This one, it has various different settings for electrical, magnetic energy, standard electrical energy. Well, this one, Yvette, actually is something we've not used before. It's a high-growth thermal clock, and not a high-growth thermal clock. So basically, it measures the minimum and maximum temperatures in a room, which we've used before, but also it measures relative humidity, so we can eradicate natural causes.
OK, so if there's such a thing as cold spots, which is supposedly where a spirit would enter, allegedly, that would pick it up.
This will pick it up. We don't need to watch it all the time. We can leave it in a room, set it up, go back later, and we will know if a cold spot has occurred. Okay. These are basically, they're very much like burglar alarms. They're room guardians, so they are motion sensors. If heat moves in the room where this is set up, we will know, or if a cold spot appears in the room and moves, we will know, because it will set off and it will screech extremely loud and scare us all to death. And we can run there and then get our cameras out. So that's what they're for, and we have 2 of those to set up. And of course, we've got our old favourite as well, the night shot camera too.
So we're going to be very busy then tonight, aren't we? Hopefully we'll try and pick up some paranormal activity. Keep our fingers crossed. Another member of our team who's on his way to Souter Lighthouse is, of course, Derek Okora. He's our spiritual medium. Now, remember, as usual, he has no idea of the location. We have given him no knowledge or history about the lighthouse. So it'll be really nice to see him when he gets here. I think he'll be a bit phased, though.
Before I came to Souter Lighthouse to work as property manager here 2 years ago, I was unaware that there was any paranormal experiences that had been detected by the staff here.
Well, I've been here 6.5 years, and in that 6.5 years, there's been quite a few odd things going on, not so much scary things.
The main experience that I've had here was the first time I saw somebody that I thought was a member of staff walk past the kitchen window. But when I went to speak to them, there was nobody there.
It was in the middle of the night. It was about 3-4 o'clock. And I actually came into this room, the engine room. I came past those canisters, the air tanks, and I just felt that there was someone in this space I am now just move out of view. And the hairs on the back of my neck and the hairs on my back went up. And I just knew, I sensed a presence as well.
I was up here about 10 o'clock at night with the light on. I was busy locking up Turned the light off, went down the stairs, and somebody was tapping on the outside windows. I know there was nobody there was just me.
I think the person that I saw is most likely to be a keeper here, simply because of the clothes he wore. He was a tall, slim man who had sort of a blue uniform shirt on, and it just seemed to me that that's the kind of thing that they would have worn here.
The ghost, or if you want to call him ghost, is very interested in what's happening with the lighthouse. We'll find that after major building works or any sort of nighttime activities, there's always something happens.
There's been other bits and pieces, things like items going missing. They turn up later on, you don't know where they've been. They turn up in obvious places where you would have looked for them in the first place. And although it's a bit irritating, it's not really scary, just like someone playing jokes on you.
It's playful, it's a bit of fun, it's someone keeping a watchful eye over the place, making sure perhaps that we don't go too far with whatever we're doing here. I'm
not a great believer in ghosts or spirits of that nature, but when you do see things happening, well, you know, you've got to think again.
We think whenever we have something strange going on at the lighthouse or something a bit different experience, then that's the time when he appears, or there's something funny happens in the lighthouse.
Even when you're on your own in the building, it's quite a comforting presence that you have with you. You never actually feel like you're on your own.
We take him for granted more than anything else. I presume it's to him.
And so there's never been a threat. We've never sensed that.
Well, I think he's looking after the lighthouse more than anything else, making sure everything's okay, you know.
This is the engine room, and these large bits of machinery actually operate the foghorns and the light in the lighthouse. But mysteriously enough, tools actually disappear from this room. And they turn up in the most strangest of places. Well, tonight we hope to find out who or what is moving them. Well, this is the room where the lighthouse keeper and his family would have spent most of their time. But strangely enough, I feel like an intruder. This is the corridor that leads straight to the lighthouse tower. Some people say that they've seen strange, ghostly shapes walking up and down here. Now, all the lighthouse keepers that worked here must have walked miles up and down these stairs, so if there are such things as ghosts, why on earth would we want to come back and haunt these stairs? Well, this is the actual light. It's 4.5 tons of glass, and it sits on 1.5 tons of mercury. And it doesn't really take much to push it, and that's because of the mercury that sends it round. Now, it's said that many a lightkeeper has gone completely mad because of the mercury fumes. It's a real funny feeling up here. It's very, very still. It's a bit creepy.
Whilst the crew were preparing for the night shoot, I decided to have a quick break. And as we all know, some of the strangest things happen when you least expect them.
Are you checking out your bits then? Oh! Is it me?
Well, that's quite interesting actually, because you can hear that thing there and then it's going down. So it's something that is slightly unusual because it's a localised field of electromagnetic energy in front of you right now. Because it's not, you can detect where it ends. See, it's here.
Oh!
That's all right, that's because I'm up and down.
It's gone, just like that.
Well, everything has a natural electromagnetic field to it, as we know when we talked about that before. What was strange about that is that was a localised, what's known as a localised field, so it was detectable around here, not here, not here, not above, not below. So there was no source for that I could see.